How's it going? My name is Hoiman and this is my piano story. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you what a piano is. It's perhaps the most recognizable instrument in the world. Even people who aren't musicians or have any musical knowledge would be able to identify and name a piano when they see one. Even just the piano's keyboard, known as keys, you'd instantly be able to tell what it even is without seeing the rest of the body. However, being the most recognizable, it's also one of the hardest instruments to play and master. The usual standard piano has 88 keys, 52 of them being white, and they make up the scale of C, D, E, F, G, A and B, while the other 36 shorter keys are black. With 88 keys playing different pitches of sounds, known as notes, a piano is able to construct all types of songs on its own. Each of these keys are connected to a hammer that, when struck against the string inside, produces the sound of the desired note. The performer often uses both hands and all their fingers and thumbs to play a piano and create music. The piano is an acoustic, stringed instrument that was invented in Italy by Bartolomeo Cristofori sometime in the 1700s. The word piano is a shortened version of forte piano, which is the Italian term for musical instrument in the 1700s. Since then, the piano has gone through many different variations, such as electric or even hybrids. Though the piano is primarily made out of wood, modern pianos can be made from wood, plastic, metal, or a combination of the materials. I don't remember the exact first time I saw a piano, but I do remember always begging my family for one. My sister decided to get me a kid's beginner keyboard for my 8th or 9th birthday, and I remember being super happy and excited at the same time. I still have the piano to this day. I remember the keyboard coming with a small book to learn simple kids songs like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and Bar Bar Black Sheep. Obviously, I didn't really take much notice of it or even know how to read sheet music, so I just tossed it aside and whacked the keys like a typical kid. Fortunately, my sister studied a little bit of music in college at the time, so she taught me some basic terms about the piano. I slowly learned the C, D, E, G, A and B notes, and roughly learned how to play some basic songs in the book by copying my sister's hand movements. I was still getting used to playing and the movement in my hand, so my left hand remained dormant for a very long time. When I became 13, I decided to take some lessons from my friend's mum. I remember being intimidated because it was my first time playing on a full-sized wooden piano. The keys were so much harder to press down, and the sound was so much stronger. I only had 5 lessons since I was moving away soon, so I didn't really learn a whole lot. But I did learn a bit with my left hand for the first time, by playing simple chords with 3 keys together. My teacher taught me how to play a simpler version of the Shire theme from the Lord of the Rings movie, which I still remember how to play. Although looking back at it now, it's very simple to play, but I guess that just shows how far I've come since then. She also taught me the notes to the song and had me write it down in the sheet music form. I also learned to play a simple beat with my left hand, while my teacher plays the main melody with her right. I remember her being impressed because I was able to stick to my rhythm and not get confused with her notes playing the first time. But overall, that's about all I learned from the 5 lessons. It was quite scary and tense, but also fun to see my playing getting smoother and small improvements. I still remember impressing some of my friends at school by playing the piano with both hands. Shortly after moving up to the Midlands, I asked my mum for a bigger keyboard. I felt my hands were getting too big for my current kid's keyboard, not to mention that there weren't enough keys to play with. So my mum got me a medium-sized keyboard, and I instantly felt the difference. The sound, the size, the power. It felt slick. The usual songs I played on the new keyboard just had so much more impact to it, but my knowledge was still really limited. Despite that, I still remember composing my very first song with a basic chord and melody. Sure, it's simple and easy to play, but I still felt proud. I still remember how to play it to this day. This new keyboard also came with an inbuilt tutorial to learn some of the installed songs through step-by-step guide. I dabbed a little bit into it, learning a bit of Killing Me Softly and Moonlight Sonata, but my interest always fell into video game music instead. I still couldn't read sheet music, so my only choice was to look online on YouTube for other people's tutorials on various songs. There was always a specific song, Dire Dire Docks from the Super Mario 64 game, that I've always liked and would love to learn on piano. And after discovering someone playing it and their tutorial, it motivated me to really want to learn it. Sure, the song looked much more complicated to what I've learned so far, especially the left hand, but I was adamant in learning one of my favourite songs. So I studied the video, spending hours rewatching and following the finger movements and notes, and I slowly and eventually learned the song, and noticed how much my playing had improved. I was learning new chords, but instead I was playing them in separate notes rather than at the same time. This, added with my right hand playing the melody, made playing the piano just so much more difficult and confusing. It seriously felt like I had to split my brain in two to play the bass and treble and harmony, but it was worth it. I felt learning the song has improved my playing and skills overall. I still remember feeling especially proud when I could finally play Dire Dire Docks all on my own. My family and relatives were also really impressed with how far I've come. After all, I was self-taught myself. Even my cousin got inspired that he asked me to teach him how to play. I felt so proud to hear him say that. I then went on to learn a bunch of other video game music, and Eternity Memory of Light Waves from Final Fantasy X2 was definitely one of the hardest songs to learn, but I was adamant to learn another of my favourite songs. Because of my basic knowledge so far, this song was easier to learn because it's basically extending the notes on my left hand and such. Again, this helped improve my skills in playing the piano. However, as I got older, the keyboard was again getting a bit too small and the songs I was learning required more keys. So my mum generously decided to get me an adult-sized electric piano. This was my first piano, so it took some getting used to. The keys were harder, the sound was more faithful, and the impact was so much stronger, not to mention the sustain pedal, which adds reverb to the notes when pressed down. I remember all these features just improved the songs and overall quality so much, and from there I learned more songs and the rest is history. Playing the piano has always been a hobby of mine really. When I asked for my first keyboard, I never really thought about wanting to build a career on playing the piano or anything. I just wanted to play because it looked fun and engaging, and to this day I still play the piano as a hobby, though my knowledge and musical terminology is still severely lacking. I feel I know just about enough to play the piano in a somewhat presentable form. With what I learned from all the tutorials, I began composing countless original songs. I like to design characters and write books, so I also like to compose songs to go with them. I'm a huge fan of Mega Man and its music, so I went on to design my own characters and themes. Because it's an electric piano, it allows me to record up to 5 channels from a wide selection of instruments, so I worked with this method to compose a variety of full songs. I know almost nothing on how to compose music on a computer software, and I've always found them complicated, so I compose all my songs right here on my electric piano. You can find all my original songs and watch me play the piano on my older YouTube channel, Peppy for Brawl, which you can find in the description below. On my journey with following various tutorials, it's definitely helped with improving my mental health and such throughout the years. I'm glad this hobby has kept my depression stable and has kept me busy and motivated. Like everyone learning to play the piano, I've had many missteps when following the tutorials and stuff, always making mistakes and such, but I'm fortunate that my motivation was strong enough to keep me going. If not for that, I wouldn't be where I am with the piano today. The fact that I'm mainly self-taught just makes me feel even more proud and realise how far I've come on my own. Proud enough that whenever I see a piano available to play in public, I can't help but give it a go. Sure, I get anxious and scared of all the strangers around, but I feel it's all a learning experience to boost my confidence and to share my music with others. I'm sure thousands of others share a similar story with my own with the piano, but I still wanted to get my own story out there to share. I feel it's positive and may even inspire others watching to begin playing the piano. If you do, I can definitely say it's worth it and makes you feel proud to play a difficult instrument. I can guarantee that your family and friends will be impressed, and some strangers will stop to listen at you play for a bit. Thank you for watching to the end and listening to my story. I really appreciate it. That's it for this video. My name is Hoiman, and please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And remember, always look forward, keep hope alive, and remember, you're somebody.